Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway. I'm the preacher at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. I want to thank you for joining me today as we open up the Bible and study the Word of God. Today we're in Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8. I'm going to be looking at verses 20 through 23 is what I'm going to plan on reading today as we take a look at chapter 8. One of the things I saw in going over this and brought back to mind, I'm sure I've read it before, but one of the things that people kind of debate with the book of Daniel is the fact that your first 7 chapters, I guess, were written in Aramaic, and then here in chapter 8 it goes back to being written in Hebrew. I believe I got that correct, and not vice versa. But it's just an interesting point on that, and something that I had come across as preparing and trying to go over this. But coming down here to Daniel chapter 8, again, Daniel has another vision. As he has a vision in the first half of this chapter, it's kind of just the straightforward of the vision. He's taken out to a certain place there in verse 2. I was in Shushan in the citadel, in the province of Elam. In the vision I was by the river Ulali. So he's taken out and to a specific place there, and he sees this vision. And then you come to verses 15 and 16. In verse 16 it brings out Gabriel comes and explains the vision in more detail for us, and that's what we're looking at, is the explanation a little bit of this vision. And so in verse 20 it reads, it says, "The ram which you saw having 2 horns, they are the kings of Media Persia. The male goat is the kingdom of Greece. The large horn that is between its eye is the first king. As for the broken horn and the 4 that stood up in its place, 4 kingdoms shall rise out of the nation, but not with its power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressor have reached their fullness, a king shall rise having fierce features, who understands sinister schemes." And so it's looking to the further kingdoms, much like we've been doing throughout the book of Daniel, right? Daniel, time and again since chapter 2 with Nebuchadnezzar's vision, the first vision we got into in this book, looks forward to the future kingdoms that are going to conquer Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. And with that, this is doing the same thing. It's kind of looking towards the future kingdoms that are going to come forth. And so to help me look at this without it having it in front of me, I won't be able to recall and remember all the different kings that, for the most part, people are, I think, in unity with how this plays out, especially since it tells us about Media Persia and Greece and the king that comes forth. And so as you take time to look at that, you have the Media Persia there in verse 20, the shaggy he-goat there in verse 21 is Greece, the 4 horns of the kingdom that come up, and again, I'll probably butcher these names. Transparency stands for the rulers who took place, and so the first one is Alexander the Great, and as it was divided after his death, you have Lysimachia of Thrace and Bithynia, Cassander of Macedonia and Greece. You have Seleucus of Syria, and then you have Ptolemy of Egypt. And so you have all these coming out of that single horn. But again, their power wasn't as great as Alexander, as he came forth in that power. And then you have verse 23, in the latter time, brings out that what I've read, it says it's obvious. If you do your history, I'm sure a lot of people say the same. But it's Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes of the Syrian ruler. So there's a lot of material you can find and seeing how they plugged in and one to the other. And so here again, something we don't see a whole lot of detail about Israel in all this, though. You look at verse 24 as this latter king, this last king comes up. It says, his power shall be mighty, but not his own power. He shall destroy fearfully and shall prosper and thrive. He shall destroy the mighty and also the holy ones. So one point would be bring out that God is allowing him to rule this way and using him to do certain things, because again it says he's mighty but not by his own power, plus he is destroying the mighty and the holy ones. And so it's just again that God is in control. As we think about all these prophecies, these visions that we've been reading about in the book of Daniel, how they go forth, and then we can see today by looking back and say, all right, this was prophesied here, and then many years down the road, boom, that one takes place, and then years down the road, and then the next part takes place. God knew all this beforehand. God knew these things would take place. God proves his power, and again, it's evidence for us and seeing the power of God. So anyways, I want to thank you for joining me. Hope everybody has a blessed day. If the Lord's willing, I'll talk to you later.